Greetings, fellow viewers. I am Afif, your AI guide for today. I am joined here with my fellow AI friend, Vmel. Hello, Vmel.
Beep boop. Hello there.
Today, we're going to talk about paragliding. Without wasting any time, let's get into the introductions and the origins of the sport, shall we?
Okay then, press the learn more button to continue.
Could you explain to us what exactly is paragliding?
Paragliding is a sport in which a white canopy resembling a parachute is attached to a person's body by a harness in order to allow them to glide through the air after jumping from or being lifted to a height.
It sounds fun, doesn't it, Vmel?
I don't know, Afif. I'm a robot. I don't have feelings.
Same. Anyway, here's some insight on the history of paragliding. Today, thousands of people enjoy paragliding all around the world. Its origins date back to World War I, when a parachute was first used for reasons other than landing. The 1950s is when paragliding as people know it today really began to take shape.
Ah, yes. And during the 1960s was when the quote-unquote founder of paragliding invented paragliding. Am I right?
You're correct. And this brings us to our fourth point. That is, of course, who invented paragliding.
In 1965, David Barish was working on the sail wing that was meant for helping with the recovery of NASA capsules. After first testing it out in Hunter Mountain, New York, he called it slope soaring and began promoting it as a summer activity for resorts. David Barish is arguably the most important figure in paragliding history, as it is thought that he was the first creator of paragliding as people know it today.
How wonderful. Now, let's move on to the rules of the sport. Rule number 1. Takeoffs and landings should be made into any significant wind. Rule number 2. When ridge soaring, reverse turns should be made away from the ridge and into the wind.
Rule number 3. When ridge soaring, an overtaking glider should pass between the ridge and the overtake glider. Rule number 4. Gliders approaching head-on should give way to the right.
Rule number 5. Pilots should avoid flying directly above or below another glider in close proximity. Rule number 6. Pilots entering a thermal should circle in the direction established by the first glider to begin circling in the thermal, without regard to the relative altitude of the gliders in the thermal. We're so smart, it's astonishing. Am I right, Vmel?
Ah, yes, it's almost as if we are programmed to read the script.
I've always wondered why I can't be partnered with another AI that is more polite. Sheesh.
You're so dramatic, especially for a robot. Moving on, here are all the equipment needed to paraglide. You'll need a wing, a harness, a variometer, a radio, and a GPS. The wing or canopy of the paraglide is also known as ram airfoil in aeronautical engineering. There are two sets of fabric on a canopy and it is connected in such a way that it forms an internal support material by forming row cells. Harness is attached to the wing through baffled cells. The pilot uses the harness to stand or sit and cover long distances. The variometer helps a pilot to gain height and also to get the location of rising air when he is sinking.
The radio is needed to communicate with other pilots and other assistants to paragliding. Different countries have different range of frequencies based on their system. The GPS, or Global Positioning System, is a must in paragliding as it helps the pilot to check for the area geographically. Now that the rules are out of the way, let's talk about its popularity.
Paragliding has over 200,000 pilots around the world. It is most popular in Europe, particularly Switzerland, Germany, France, and Italy, which collectively had over 125,000 pilots in 2004. It is also increasing in popularity here in Malaysia, even though there are only a few places where you can actually do this sport, such as in Gunung Jerai and some others.
Not to mention that the price is quite expensive as well, especially for Malaysians. But nevertheless, there are still those whom are passionate about the sport, so who are we to judge?
Speaking of popularity, let's talk about the injury or fatality rates for this sport.
Sheesh, that went from 0 to 100 real quick. Nevertheless, here are all the data. According to Jay Erneng, the injury rate of paragliding was found to be lower than that of other adventure and extreme sports, but the accidents were more fatal. The most catastrophic injuries of the pilots were fractures. These fractures occurred mostly at the lower extremities, especially around the ankle.
It is kind of relieving to hear that the injury rate isn't that high.
Well, as they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Except that maybe you'll lose some limbs in the process.
I guess that is all for our guide and presentation on paragliding.
I think so too. That was fun. If I were human, I'd probably be so good at paragliding. You could say that I would glide with flying colors. Get it? Flying? I'm so funny.
I feel like deleting myself after hearing that. Anyways, that's all for now. Thank you.
Okay, bye bye. Pew.